Hi there, it's Pete from Hermitage Road. Welcome back up to the loft. This is the third part of my short train videos, but this time I'm going to concentrate on freight trains. Now the first train I'm going to show you is hauled by a Class 47. I've seen a picture in a book about this. It was at Hexham, which I believe is County Durham, up in the deep north, and this was spotted in a yard up there, which was a sort of basic unloading facility for TTAs. Now this is only 3 102-ton TTA wagons, which seems crazy really that they'd ever run in that short a rake, but it's quite true. And they used to load them into tankers by the side of it by literally hooking up the pipes and pumping it out. You wouldn't expect to find a Class 47 hauling a rake that short, really, but this is really an exception because the TTAs tended to be in block trains of 15 wagons upwards. So that's the first one. Now, Cornwall, with its China clay traffic, was actually quite common for short rakes of trains. Now, what I got here is a 37, just coming into view, in rail freight distribution livery. It's the 37671, which was at St Blasey, and it's got a rake of 3 JIA wagons. Now they normally travelled in about 8, 9, something like that, up to around Stoke-on-Trent to deliver the clay. Now you can certainly see in Cornwall short rakes usually hauled by a 37 of maybe even 2, 3 wagons, and obviously the CDAs that they used would be in a block formation, generally of about 12 to 15 wagons. But it has been known for them to move things like the JIA wagons we got here around between places in Cornwall. Now the third one was quite irregular working in the West Country. It was tended to be a 47 bringing 4 TTAs. Now this was fuel oil for Penzance Depot. It was quite irregular working during the week, and it only seemed to be 4 to 6 wagons. Unfortunately, we appear to have lost one on this, but never mind, I'll leave the mistake in. It was 4, which again is a very short train, certainly for a 47. And next we've got a Class 31. I've seen a photo of this with 1 OBA and 1 VDA wagon. Again, very strange. This was at backing into the spare platform at Truro Station, presumed to get out of the way of the expresses. There weren't many movements like this, and I don't know where it was headed. I would guess it was going to Penzance, possibly with spare parts or something like that. There's no more information of it, and it's also fairly unusually a 31-4. They tended to be more for passenger trains rather than freight, but looks like they did put one on this occasion. So I'll move that one out of the way. In the 80s, you still had Speedlink services running, and they could be a sort of fairly short consist of them, because people just booked whatever whatever product they wanted, and Speedlink would provide it throughout their network, which was quite widespread through Britain. Now, I don't know whether this photo, I got this from a photo again, I don't know whether this came from a Speedlink service or whether it was just a sort of wagon movement This was near Fort William, and this is 37012, and it was pulling 2 of these wagons, which again is quite short. So don't despair if your layout's very short. It doesn't matter. It's all possible. Generally, freight trains were quite big, and BR was trying to focus on block trains because obviously it's easier to do. But there were still quite a few sorting yards on BR, and these sorting yards had movements between them, which could often be quite a short train. So anything's justified. I even found a picture in Cornwall of a one short wagon, a PRA I believe it is, China Clay wagon. I haven't done that one tonight because there's obviously only so much I can do on this. So I'll take that one off out of view. Right, sorry about the little glitch. There was a slight problem where I knocked the camera. Fortunately, it didn't fall off the tripod. So if you could like, subscribe, share, and anything else you want to do. And I like your comments. I had quite some very good comments last time on the last 2 videos. I'm very pleased about them. But this will conclude the short trains. Unless I get more information come up at a further time in the future, I might try and do that and revisit this. Quite what I'm going to do next time. I'm actually thinking of doing some sort of steam video. I don't know what. If anybody wants to suggest what they want, I've got most of the big 4 locomotives, except the big fresh express passenger. I'm not really into those. I preferred the smaller things like Manners, maybe a Castle. But I can do southern ones, certain amount of LNER, because I've got a few freight locomotives of that, and also some Midland stock. So if anybody's interested in that, let me know. If you want more diesel stuff, maybe I'll do a more modern one, because I haven't done up to date with 66s, 67s and things like that for a while. So that'll conclude the video tonight, and thank you very much and good night.